Good morning. It is 8:28, a Thursday morning, 50 degrees. I'm trying to get to the I-5 on-ramp off of Michigan Street here, and traffic isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because usually Wednesdays and Thursdays are fairly obnoxious and brutal when it comes to traffic. So I take the left hand lane here, and the I-5 on-ramp here is coming up, 5 North. So I'm trying to get up to I-5 North to head on out to the Roosevelt Way exit off of I-5. So we'll see. I've got the GPS going here off of the iPhone. So, oh, here's a guy that's on the phones. Not paying attention. Sorry about my windshield's a little dirty today, so hopefully you can see the view here. Straight up is kind of the Beacon Hill, the tail end, the south end of the Beacon Hill area. And you'll see a view of the traffic northbound here on I-5. I've started these new reader boards that show the speed of the traffic, and they're distributed. This is a distributor lane here. You can see that it turned from red to green. Now I'm going to try and merge here. It's really just an absolute mess here usually. Now here's I-5 traffic, Seattle style. I'm going to move the camera to the left here. I'm going to turn off the GPS. Yes, I did say 50 degrees Fahrenheit earlier. It's been an unseasonably warm February. A lot of the trees and shrubbery are being tricked to think that it's already spring, so they're starting to bloom, and I think that's, I mean, at least in my book, that's way early. Even some of the creepy crawlies, the ants, you know, the critters that are supposed to be in hibernation, starting to come out of their nests. And you know, we had a little bit of a black ant infestation issue for the past 2 years, and I've tried to address it. And you know, obviously when the winter temperatures come around, they go away, but when it gets hot, they start to forage for food, and they're all over the place, and it's just annoying. They don't bite, but you know, my girlfriend just doesn't like it. She's got a phobia about spiders and anything that goes bump into the night. So, but going back here, here's I-5 traffic. You'll see as we go through the downtown area here. it'll get progressively worse. I took the middle lane. I really should be on the right lane because that's probably the best way to access downtown thoroughfare. When you get through the bottleneck, get into the bottleneck area around after Columbian Way or something like that. So we'll see. Going about 11 miles an hour now. Yeah, a little bit later here, when hopefully you can see it through the camera, but the Port of Seattle here, it's got container vans, containers stacked up. I mean, almost probably 5 to 10 times more than I've seen them stacked up because of the port strike, the West Coast port strike, and I think the President of the United States of America is starting to intervene. Say everybody, all the longshoremen should go back to work and stop this work stoppage or slowing of work, because 75% of the goods in the U.S. passes through the West Coast ports, and obviously Seattle is part of the West Coast, although we're up way north of the California ports. And I'm really surprised that it hasn't really affected the prices of goods yet. You would think that would be the case if 75% of the goods that travel through the West Coast ports is slowed or delayed or at a virtual standstill, but not the case. I think prices are still relatively low. I mean, you could be argued that inflation is masked somewhat by economists. What it should really be is the real cost of goods and services, and with wages stagnating or not improving, a lot could be argued when it comes to the real rate of inflation. So to the right, over these these behemoths of city of industry here, see these elevated on-ramps and off-ramps, is Beacon Hill. Beacon Hill can be argued as one of the 7 hills of Seattle. If you want to read about that, you can look it up or Google it. But Beacon Hill used to be an area south of Seattle that I used to live. My aunt had a home, little property right on about 10 minutes away from, or maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from the Jefferson Golf Course. And I lived there for a while when I first moved in Seattle many moons ago. So as I take the curve on the road here on the freeway, it'll give you a view of Safeco Field, the downtown Seattle skyline, and I think part of CenturyLink Field too, if we're lucky here. It's an overcast day. The pavement is dry, and no winds. I'd probably say variable winds are nominal, maybe 2 to 5, not even 5 miles an hour. But to the very right hand part of the road, that very right lane is the exit to I-90, which is, you know, the main freeway that goes to Spokane, Washington. I'm taking this right lane here, not going to Spokane, but just on this right lane, because as this freeway, you know, kind of jogs into downtown through the Seneca exit, if the express lanes are closed, then everybody's trying to avoid the express lanes and trying to avoid the Seneca exit, and you'll get kind of caught up in traffic. So this very right hand lane is probably the best way to get through downtown. You'll see here, this Camry in front of me will speed up. So there you see the express lanes are closed. Usually they open up the express lanes after the rush hour of the workday. They typically open it when the express lanes are going southbound instead of northbound in the morning, when people are heading to downtown Seattle for work. So in Manila they call those, I guess you can argue that it's like a zipper lane. But here they just kind of toggle on and off, northbound and southbound, depending on the time of the day. Going back to these suspended on-ramps and off-ramps overhead, a lot of people don't know. Well, first of all, when it gets to be winter time like this, I mean not specifically in a day like this where it's beautiful and it's clear and it's only 54, you know, it's 54 degrees now in Sunshine. But these on-ramps and off-ramps, by their very nature, they easily freeze when it comes to snowy conditions, and a lot of people in Seattle do not know how to drive in snow because we don't get enough of that white stuff. So as a result, there's a lot of accidents that happen on those on-ramps and off-ramps if they had not been you know, plowed or salted or sanded immediately. So take note of that. Go very, very slow when it comes to, well, you know, when it comes to winter time, but just consider it to take 3 times as long when you're traveling on those on-ramps and off-ramps. So as you can see here, it's what I meant by, if the express lanes are closed and Seneca exits on the middle lane, then everybody's going to try and squeeze into this very right-hand lane, like that BMW there, cut in front of that van again. Rude, almost caused an accident. Of course, it's a lot. It's the type of incidents that promote road rage, but you know. I want to twist the camera to the left a little bit here, so Dodge, I thought was going to try to take my lane. Alright, more to follow.